All right, so let's look at knowledge check 23.3.1. So the following code identifies the month of the data set from our monthly data files in the last knowledge check. So let's run this code. And so we can see this first line of code is what we see for this output here. We're doing the same thing as before, where we identify all the files in this monthly data directory that we have. So we have month 01 all the way through month 11 CSV files. The second line of code is to extract the month number. So what this is doing is identifying the number, so 01, 02, 03, so on. It extracts that, and that's what this string R extract does. So I can go ahead and run that. Now when I run it like that, you can see that it is a character string, but we want to force this to be numeric. So that's why we have this as numeric surrounding it. So now we have our numeric value. Okay. So that's kind of what those lines of codes are doing. Okay, so let's look at this for loop here. We want to modify the following for loop with a next or break statement to only import month 01 through month 7. And then also only import month 8 through month 10. So these are two different procedures, or two different steps we want to do. Okay, so what can we do? Well, what we can do here is we're going to go ahead and add a break statement for this first one. So only import month 01 through month 7. So first of all, what we want to do is, let me grab this code up here. And we want to say month equals as numeric, and I want to change this to data file. So we're gonna iterate through the data files. All right, so we're gonna call this character string here data file. We're gonna pull the month out of that, which is what we're doing here. So month. And so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna say, well, if our month is greater than 7, we want to break. Okay. If it's not greater than 7, we're going to just follow and execute the rest of this code. So let's see if this works. Oh, let's see. Month 01. Monthly data files. Let's see, we should have, all right, data files. Oh, okay. What we actually want to do, monthly data files. That's not working. Okay, the issue we ran into here is because we've got this pay statement, and this is the exact reason that we like to use here, or the here function. So a more accurate way to do this is to follow the same procedure that we have up here, right? So to make sure my path is correct, I want to data, because I have a data folder. Within there, I have a monthly data subdirectory, and then I want to go ahead and add data file. All right, so that's going to be the final path, which is this month 01, 02, 03.csv. All right, so now when I run that, what we can see is we have now imported all our data files. We've dynamically reassigned the names of the data frames, and we've done that for month 1 through month 7. But as soon as we got to month 8, our for loop, we broke out of that and we stopped executing anything else. So we can even see here, data file was month 8. So the last iteration of the for loop, this value right here was month 8, but once we got to this point where we looked at the number within that path, and we saw that it was greater than 7, which in this case would be 8. We broke out of the for loop. Okay, so now that's number 1. Now let's go ahead and look at number 2. Only import month 8 through month 10. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of everything in my global environment, kind of start fresh here. Let me rerun this to make sure I've got the file paths. So how could I modify this? Well, I want to do the same thing here, except here it says we want to only import month 8 through month 10. So instead of breaking out, what we want to do is just skip basically months 1 through 7. And once we get to 8, that's when we start doing the code down here. So we can do a couple things. One, I could say, since we know we want month 8 through 10, I could go ahead and say if month is in 8 through 10, or excuse me, actually what I want to say is if it's not in, right? So let's go ahead and say if month is less than 8, or if month is greater than 10. We're going to go ahead and do next, which means skip to the next iteration, and it won't execute this code. All right, so now when I run this, we see, if I look at my global environment, we've imported month 8, 9, and 10. So for all those other month numbers that were not basically between 8 and 10, we just skipped those iterations and went on to the next iteration and waited till we found where month was 8 through 10 and then executed these steps.